Of the folks who are sitting here, is anybody actively using Instagram for your business? So I'm seeing most folks, you're there, so you know how the game is played. So I forewarn you, I only have 30 minutes and I want to leave time for questions. So this is going to be a lot of information. It's going to go fast. I don't have any, I'll be honest, any visuals, like you're going to wonder when I'm talking about the bio and you may want to look at it. You'll just need to pull out your phone and look at your own, because I just had to do words to help me remember what to tell you. And we're just going to plow ahead. So everybody, brace yourselves. Here we go. So Insta stats and facts. This is going to be just some helpful stuff to get your brain in the game. But we all know, because we're all on there, people love Instagram. We've got 713.9 million users, up 20% in 2018. So this is a fairly recent stat, obviously, since we're only in 2019. I mention it because we all need to know this, the follower acquisition potential on Instagram is strong. People are using it very actively. 80% of people who have an Instagram account follow at least one business. So yay, we're all in business. 30% have discovered and purchased a product while on Instagram. Again, very good news and a healthy percentage there. 11 to 58% more engagement than Facebook is the words that are the words that are not on the screen right now. I put this range, if you Google this stat, you will see often referred to 38% more engagement. I actually am such a geek. I went way back in the annals of Google search history and found the origin of that stat. It's actually a very old stat, but you'll hear it said a lot, but it is still accurate that you get more engagement on Instagram, significantly more so than you would on your Facebook business page. So pay attention to your Insta. People use it approximately 30 minutes a day in key demographics. Key demographics could vary based on your business type, but for the folks sitting here today, the presumption is this key demographic is going to be actively, consistently using Instagram. But here is the thing, with all these huge numbers, it really only matters what your customers need. So as we talk about things, I want you to understand there is no need to freak out about big numbers. You don't need huge likes on your posts to get great gain from your activity on Instagram, because your target audience may be quite a bit smaller than, the thousands and millions that are on there. So always keep heart and know who your focus is. You're going to be much more successful that way. I've mentioned Facebook and that Instagram does get more engagement. In Byte engagement, I mean likes and comments on posts. But there is the growing Facebook factor, because Facebook owns Instagram. So we're starting to see the infiltration of Facebook practices into your Instagram feeds. And that means we're dealing more with algorithms and some of these crazy things that have happened to our Facebook business pages. If you've been around and doing social for a long time, there was a day back on Facebook business pages, you got really great organic engagement from folks. And now we have to pay to get interactions on Facebook business pages. Well, brace yourself, because that's going to happen with Instagram, and it kind of already is in some ways. But it is just like Facebook. It's truly, ultimately, an advertising platform. The people who own it, that own Facebook, have created these platforms to essentially exist for advertising. That's how they monetize. So we need to understand that about their game so we can play it accordingly. But there are coordinated paid opportunities. If you're spending some money on your Facebook business page, it is super simple to include Instagram in a campaign. You can also focus specifically on Instagram, but it is great to marry those two efforts if you're spending some bucks. But we're going to be facing similar challenges along the way. These portals are very important for our businesses. Just by sheer volume alone, you're going to catch your targeted key demographics and get to your customers. But we've got to understand it's just going to get wonky, and the growing pains are part of the reality. So let's start with some practical stuff. You've got your profile on Instagram. It's your one place to curate and tell your own story. So please pay attention to it and start there in terms of maxing it out. So if you need a visual reference, feel free to pull out your phones and look at your own Instagram account and your bio page. But say who you are and what to expect. So make it clear for people who have somehow found one of your posts and they click over to your bio to decide if they want to follow you on an ongoing basis. Make it very invitational. So make it clear who you are in your bio and what they can expect from you, like great tile ideas, stuff you can buy, design inspiration, whatever that is. Obviously, you only have so many characters there, so you need to make that very clear. Use your consistent NAP, name, address, phone number. Across all your digital platforms, your socials, your name, address, and phone number should be consistent. To be able to do this on Instagram, I should say that you need a business profile. You can have a personal profile, but we need you to convert your Instagram profile to business in order to get the maximum benefit for your business. And that's, once you do that, you're able to associate a name, address, and phone number that will show up in a web address. That can be your click-through. You only get one link on your Instagram, your profile. So maximize that. There are solutions that allow you to make a one-click that pulls up a very simplified menu that makes it easy to click through to targeted information. Max that out. Be considerate as to what your consumer might want. If it's great to just send them to your homepage, then do that. But for most of my clients, and even for my own endeavors, I use one of those click-throughs to one place that gets them easily to the next. So max out that link. Let's go to the highlights. You have highlights on your Instagram page. Are you guys familiar with highlights? Do I need to explain that to you? Anyone? I see one nodding yes. But so on Instagram, you can post stories, and then you can choose stories or fleeting content that are only up there for 24 hours. But you can actually choose to highlight that fleeting story and make it more permanent as a featured bit of content on your profile page. So I recommend that you use those because they're a great way to curate some more detailed information about your business. So go to the highlights and use them. State your branded hashtags. Okay, this can be I'm a hashtag nerd, you guys, so I could talk at great length about hashtags. I won't, but I will mention your pertinent details here. So if you have some branded hashtags that you encourage people who follow you or who bought your products to use, state them in your profile. I would say to do so with caution because it takes a lot of training for people to know what your branded hashtags are. So if that's a big deal to you and that's a way you're tracking engagement, by all means go for it. But do those be very judicious about those. Because again, there's a lot of training that goes into teaching your audience to use that hashtag. And then when they don't, you can feel like it was a missed opportunity and it doesn't need to be. But state them there if you use them. And freshen regularly. At least once a quarter, go to your bio page and make sure it's telling the right story. Don't just let it sit there and be stagnant. Just revisit it and make sure it's what it needs to be. Post like a pro. You need to post consistently, and by consistently, for most businesses, I suggest that means daily. And by daily, there's a caveat. For a lot of us, we can take the weekends off. You can, through insights on your Instagram business account, which you have switched to a business account because you need all the added features, you can actually start to track when your engagement happens and when people are seeing what you post. So be wise about that. A lot of people in this room, I know you guys. I have clients like you. I am you. I feel your pain that it's very challenging sometimes to come up with great content every day. So if your people aren't looking on weekends, then don't waste a great post on a Sunday. Save it for Monday when they're back on your Instagram account. So cut yourself a little break there, but you need to build that rhythm and consistency. Use hashtags and add locations. So the goal is, whether people follow you or not, we want them to see your post. A great way to do that is to use hashtags that work like magnets to get people on your post. Instagram has a section on there. I don't have a visual to show you, but you can go to your app and there's the Explore tab. So people will go there to get inspiration and they will search hashtags of things that they're interested in. A very popular one is like hashtag backsplash ideas in the tile industry. So people may be scheming what they're going to do in their kitchen and they're searching that. So use hashtags that are relevant to your audience and the visual that you're posting to get eyeballs on that post. It also helps to add locations. I didn't ask, but I will now. Who in here are you a retailer? Anybody a retailer? Okay, I got a few here. Interior designers? Any interior designers? Wow, no interior. Manufacturers, anybody here from manufacturers? Okay, we got some manufacturers. Distributors, okay, one distributor. So folks, there are certain businesses, especially if you're a local retailer, you may be an online retailer and you want anybody on the map to buy from you, but adding locations, if you do have a local geographic focus for your business, can actually help you be seen by people in your area. So it's very helpful to add that and use your hashtags. This is gonna help increase engagement and use those consistently, you guys. A lot of people don't like the hashtag cloud, so to speak, under their caption. When you realize that helps get eyeballs on your post, you will suddenly not care. And it's okay to put it in the caption, and it may not look as pretty, but you want people to see your post. Show faces and places. We find that posts that have smiling faces and show real life places get better interaction, and I'm speaking specifically to the design and tile world. This is true in other industries as well, but I come from a tile background, so I can speak to this very well. People want to see your showroom folks. They want to see your happy, smiling customers. They want to see an actual installation of tile, not just the marketing shot. Please use the marketing shots too, and don't always feel like you have to have a face in the picture, but people really respond to real life, and they respond to humans. If you can put a puppy on a piece of tile, that just is going to increase your odds. So just remember that. The face can be of a puppy. And go with video. Again, we have to play the game that they have set forth for us. When you're on Instagram, when you're on Facebook or any social profile, you are renting a room in their arena. You don't own that, so follow their lead. And right now, Instagram is hugely conveying that they want us to use video. So play the game by their rules. Use video. And you do not have to do anything fancy to make this work for you. You can do quick clips if you have a showroom, if you're on a job site. You can do a testimonial really quick. And I'm doing this. It's symbolizing you're holding your smartphone. And you can do vertical video. Actually, IGTV is relatively new, it's over a year old now, addition to Instagram, and it's only vertical video. So holding your phone as is most natural to you is a great way to capture video. And by using what they want you to use, it could help you through the algorithm to show up in more news feeds. So go with video. Start stories telling. Okay, here's a cool, I'm not going to remember the exact stats, so I shan't try to quote them to you, but when Instagram introduced stories a few years ago, just by sheer volume of people who use Instagram, they walloped Snapchat. Because people love Snapchat because it's basically the concept of stories, and it's fleeting content that goes away after 24 hours. Well, when Instagram added that kind of feature essentially to compete with Snapchat, they kaboomed them, but just because so many people use Instagram, and people love stories. I don't know why. I would love to delve into the psychology of that, but I don't have time right now. But so use them. And this is the stuff where what you choose to put in your news feed maybe is a little more curated. Please just go for it. Use video clips. Have fun. Don't worry about the lighting as much. Just go for it. And you can use hashtags and locations on your stories, so please do. This will actually help you very much. Don't disregard that content on your stories. Tag the people. If you are in this, I should have mentioned it on the last slide as well. Tag. Anytime you're creating moments of engagement, this is going to help you to be seen and hopefully grow your account. I'm deja vuing, show those faces and places, and use that video on the Instagram stories as well. And also consider IGTV. It's essentially a channel that you create. It's a little more involved. I will not be delving deep into that, but just know that video will serve you well on this platform. Tactics and tips. So let's get practical here. Be social. We're in an era right now. I mentioned I'm a hashtag nerd. I love me some hashtags. I don't know if any of you guys follow Tile Tuesday, is an account that I started back in 2015 as a laboratory. It's brand agnostic, it's geographically agnostic, so I can just post whatever, and I just did it to learn how you could grow from literally zero without asking anybody to like my new account or follow my new account, how I could grow that. And I did that through the use of hashtags only. It was kind of super cool. But over time, hashtags have waned in their pure effectiveness because of that Facebook factor that I mentioned earlier and the wackiness with the algorithm, which is so exhausting because we keep having to pivot in how we're playing this game to get people to see our posts. So right now, but this is not a bad thing because this is a social platform, we're seeing better engagement when you start by being engaging. What a concept, be social. So you wanna connect with interior designers in your zip code, well, go to those interior designers and like and comment on their posts. Follow them, engage with them. It will work to your advantage. The algorithm will show favor. You can direct message and you can tag. As somebody who, when Tile Tuesday started growing and it grew really rapidly, a lot of you guys out there, would tag Tile Tuesday and still do, so that I see it, maybe I'll regram it and so that my followers can see it. That is an effective tactic. I would suggest that you not do it every time you post. If you want a local blogger to like what you're doing and maybe regram you, don't tag her every time, but tag her on the great ones. And maybe she'll start paying attention and follow and regram you. Always remember your why. Why are you there? We're in business. Typically, we want to sell stuff or services. So everything should be pointing in that direction. And to that end, use your captions to add calls to action. In any good marketing effort, you're going to ask your audience to reciprocate, to do something to help further the potential transaction. So add in your captions, contact us for samples, or I'm here for a free design consultation, reach out to me, whatever that is. Go ahead and say that in your captions. Remind them that there's something that can happen there. State link in profile. If you're actively on Instagram, you know the frustration of the reality that you cannot put a live clickable URL in your caption. They have to go back to your profile, your bio page, and click that caption. But always state that, remind them that that is a potential. Don't worry that, you see a lot of folks do that. It's necessary to tell them. If you have more than 10,000 followers on Instagram, you can, in your stories, have a live link. So that's good news. If you have acquired a large number of followers, you can have a live link in your stories. But otherwise, it's link in profile. Time your posts for maximum effect. Again, I mentioned earlier that there is something called Insights on Instagram, and it will show you when people are viewing your posts and that kind of thing. There are other third-party tools you can use to track when people are looking at your posts. Use that. It's not an exact science, but the data doesn't lie necessarily, so we use that for our clients. We pay attention to when we see engagement. So like for one client, we have Wednesday evenings at 8 o'clock. Not kidding, okay, is when most people engage with posts. So for that client, we're always sure to post on Wednesdays at 8 o'clock. And we learn that through the data. So pay attention to that. And so you want to maximize your posts. Creative content ideas. So I'm hearing your silent groans of, I love all this, but what do I post? It is the plight of all of us. We live in such a content-driven world. So what do we use to tell our stories, especially visually, all the time? So think, if you're selling tile, this is a good example. Think product nuances and angles. So it's one thing to show a pretty room scene or a completed project of an installation, that kind of thing. But what if you're walking around your showroom and you just change the light and show me the details on that piece of tile, or you do a little video clip that shows the nuances. Think creatively, but tell a product story from different angles and show your nuances. Do multiple pics for products. Instagram offers you the capability to, as you're posting in your newsfeed, to either show one image or you can show several images in a post. So think about multiple pics so you're creating more of a build-up to a story. Real life installations, I'm repeating myself here, but it's worth it. Real life installations very often get more interaction, and this is not just true for Instagram. This actually runs the gamut across all your socials, but we're here for Insta. So those real life installations serve you well. I've been in this tile industry for a really long time, so I can tell you, I live in a world of, where are your pictures? Where are your pictures? Please send your pictures, please send your pictures. You need to make it standard operating procedure to seek real life photos of any project that you're involved on, should that be relevant to your business. So make that something you're doing all the time, is seeking those real life installations. Do showroom or project tours. Like if you have a booth here, take us on a tour of your booth. If you have a showroom, take us on a tour of your showroom. If you have a manufacturing facility and it's not sensitive information that you wouldn't want competitors to know, take us on a little tour of that. Do anything to engage. Design and vision boards and collages. In our industry here in the tile world, people love those swatches of, there's an upholstery fabric and here's the tile we're gonna use and here's a little swatch of this. People really dig that stuff. And you could actually engage with your designers that are working on projects and create those collages to show. Then show us some how-tos, trends, or insider tips. Get somebody from your team that's really great at installation and have them spiel for a couple of minutes about this latest product and how to work with it. Or maybe get a designer on your team to share some trends and ideas. So think beyond just the product photo. Some more advanced options. We are so not gonna have time to get into all of these, but I just wanna plant seeds in your noggin that these are potentials. If your site has any e-commerce functionality on it, you can actually create clickable posts. I mentioned that in order to have a clickable URL on anything on Instagram, you either have to have 10,000 followers and add a URL to your story, or you have to send them back to your bio. But if you have e-commerce on your site, you can actually create e-commerce clickability on the posts themselves. Again, I'm not gonna have time to get into this. If you have a Shopify website, you can do that automatically. The functionality is there. If you've created Facebook catalogs, you can you should marry your Facebook business page to your Instagram business page so that there's that connectivity if you're doing any paid campaigns. You can make your posts clickable, but it has to be an e-commerce function. Think live video and IGTV. I touched on IGTV earlier, but if your business is of a type and you have the manpower or people power to make this happen, consider live video and IGTV. I think this is a cool season if you are at all compelled to do an IGTV thing because it's still young. So the competition for eyeballs on that is not huge. So you could create a root system there and get some good mojo. I'll be honest, it takes a lot of effort to create that consistent level of video content. We don't do it for any of our clients, but I present it to you as a viable option. And now it's the ground floor still, so you could get in on there. Create a blog substitute or supplement. We're finding that long captions on an Instagram post are very effective, and here's why. If somebody pauses to read a really long caption, that's more time spent on your post, which means the algorithm goes, people really like this post. We shall show it to more humans. And they will show that content more frequently because time spent on post serves you well. So go ahead and pretend it's a little mini blog. Use all the characters they give you and go ahead and max that out. It can be very effective. You'll see a lot of people doing that. If you follow a lot of designers and stuff, this tactic is in full use. Run ad campaigns that are shoppable and include video. So again, I'm not gonna have a lot of time to really delve into this, but you can use that shoppability and create some ad campaigns. Go ahead and consider spending some bucks to get more eyeballs on posts. Again, if it aligns with your business goals. We don't wanna do any of this without not being in line with whatever our goals are. But if you wanna sell more stuff directly and you don't care whether they got to your website or they just clicked through on an Instagram ad, go for it. Go for it. To manage all of this, there are many, many third-party Instagram apps that can help you make all this stuff happen. One thing that we employ for any of our clients, for any of my personal endeavors, I use scheduling tools that help me do this so that I can queue up some expected content. I typically do this, or we do this on a Monday to get us through to a Friday. We don't often do more than 5 days in advance because it's social and it needs to be responsive. There may be some cool trend that we decide we want to post about, so we want to leave some wiggle room in there. And also, if the third-party app goes wonky, which has happened to us, not often, and you've had 3 weeks worth of posts queued up and then they like have an outage and you have to redo that all again. It's just really sad. So don't do that to yourself, but do make use of these tools. I know I've said this is a social platform and you are rewarded for social interaction. This is not replacing that. This is freeing you up to have more time to engage, to like the people that you follow and comment on their posts to get them to interact back. So this frees you up. These are some options for posting, scheduling. You can read the list there if you have any questions. I've tried most of them. So I'm be more than happy to spiel after I'm done here. Content, to create some cool looking stuff. The visual is everything. It is Instagram, for gosh golly. So use things like Canva and SparkPost and Visco and InShot to, create your brand look and have it be consistent. I will also use this moment to make the point that light and airy imagery gets better engagement. You'll notice that a lot of people who post quotes or quotables use a very light background and actually relatively small text. That's because it takes longer for people to read. They stay on that post longer, which makes the algorithm work in your favor. But that aesthetic is very appealing to we Instagram using humans right now. So bear that in mind. Lighter and brighter seems to really get better engagement. Tracking. Know how things are working for you and pivot accordingly. So Instagram's native analytics are actually, they don't suck. So use those insights that I've mentioned a few times now. Go to those, start there. There are other solutions that are pretty handy if you want to take it even further. Like GabStats, you can use that for free and it's really good information. So it can help you be responsive and make some more intelligent decisions about your Instagram posting. So I know I only have a limited time. Before I take questions, I'm going to invite you to go to my website /INSTA. I'm being a living example of the kinds of things you need to be doing out in your business. I need reviews so that I can speak more, and hopefully this has been somewhat helpful, even though a bit harried and blurred. But I'd love you to hop over to my website on your phone right now while I've got your attention and offer me a little feedback. If you do and share your email address, I will share the notes from today's talk, the slides, and I have additional information that I'm happy to share if you send me your email address and give a little feedback today. And I'm doing this not only because I really want your feedback, but it's a great example. I have you in this moment. 3 minutes from now, you leave here, you will not think of this again. Hopefully you'll remember some of the facts and stats, but you won't remember to go offer me a review tonight in your hotel room. So I'm inviting you to do it now. And while you're doing that, I will gladly take some questions if you have any. And yes.
Hi, how are you? I've been following you. Amazing feedback about all this, I represent the Tile Shop, and we have 155 stores.
Yes, I know you guys.
Thank you. Recently what we have, and again, this is going to help us like anything, I just posted a live of your interview and session right now.
Can you guys hear him at all? I can get closer.
Okay. So.
Oh, yay.
Thank you.
Test 1, 2.
All right. Hello, everybody.
Just so we don't slow down, feel free to.
Hello, everybody. Oops. Hey, everybody. Hi, my name is Mo. I'm representing the Tile Shop. Once again, I thank you for setting up this interview and the small session for all of us. This is really going to help a lot of people on Instagram because this is the main thing in social media. Everybody now, the device, mobile is one thing which everybody's taking to their bathrooms right now. No offense, but we're doing that. So anyways, following up on what you just said about algorithm, the way it works on Instagram, more people spending more time on, on your screen, on your page. So is there a particular second or millisecond which we have to keep in mind? For example, if we can time something, small quotes, which I do, I give small messages every weekend, a positive message out to my viewers. Does it have to be in between 10 to 15 seconds? It has to be within 30 seconds? What do you think about that?
Certainly not 30.
Okay.
And I will be very honest, I'm not going to remember the exacts. Hilariously, in the world of social media, specifically Facebook and Instagram, success is measured in seconds. So they will tell you got a view on Facebook in particular. They'll tell you got so many views on a video you posted, and it's literally measured in seconds because we spend no more than 2.5 seconds with any social media post on average on any social platform. So if you can get beyond a 3-second moment, they're actually going to say that's in your favor, but certainly don't think it has to be a 30-second.
Okay.
But again, and specifically, and certainly the video works great, so keep doing that. But I was speaking specific to the length of your caption. A lot of people really want to pare that down, and it's not necessary. I'm out of time.
Oh, great.
Curses.
Okay.
But yeah, so I'm doing an interview right after this,
Okay.
but I welcome, seriously, you got my website. Please visit and share your questions, and because that helps me. I write a column every month for Floor Trends magazine, and I will collect your questions, and that gives me more to write about in that article that I write every month. Just whatever you need, just reach out. I'm more than happy to share what I know. So sorry I ran out of question time. Thank you.